I am somebody who's obviously known for quite some time how difficult it is to make a name for yourself in this very challenging industry because this industry is always evolving. It's constantly changing. So what I wanted to do was represent hope, and I wanted to be a voice for hope, to give these stars more of a chance than ever before. Years ago, I was a huge fan of the show Victorious, and I remembered how people weren't really giving Victorious more of a chance than they probably should have. So what I did was I took to social media and I blew up Victorious. I started posting all these really nice videos about Victorious because I believe people like Victoria Justice and Ariana Grande obviously had very bright futures. I had no idea how bright their stars were going to shine, but I took to social media and let people know how I felt about Victorious. And I went on to post like 300 videos on Victorious until I put it over. In a way, not only just putting it over, but in a way I wanted to put it over. And Victorious would go on to become the favorite kids TV show at the Nickelodeon Kids Choice Awards in 2012 as everybody's favorite kids TV show. It was an award that I felt they were very deserving of because they still had a long way to go and they are still blowing up the scene with so much happening for them. And I've never felt more proud of a cast like I have for Victorious. And I feel the exact same way years later for the cast of Descendants, especially the new cast of Descendants, which has changed up a lot over time. It's been 5 years since the original cast had anything to do with Descendants or Zombies, but because of the wake of the original cast, this new cast has come into our lives and represented Descendants and Zombies in a whole new fashion, in a whole new way, and their approach has been nothing short of phenomenal. And I've just loved being here to experience all of this with all of you because experiencing all of this with all of you presented me with more of a chance to be seen and heard over mountains and seas in ways that I never thought that I would. Years ago, it was very challenging to create YouTube content. Your YouTube videos could only be 10 minutes long. Your videos couldn't be up to 12 hours. You couldn't go live. You couldn't stream videos in 4K. So it was more of a challenge than probably many of us ever admitted to. So because it was so much of a challenge, what it came down to was who had the fastest internet or who could upload their video the fastest. So you kind of had to beat out the algorithm and you had to jam everything into a 10-minute long video, which was more challenging than more given credit for. But I always remembered wanting to be the best. Maybe not in the way that some people wanted to be the best, but I just wanted to give you guys the best because I had believed that you guys had deserved the best for far long enough. And at that time, I had no idea how I would ever give you the best. I probably thought that many of you thought that I was going to be the biggest loser ever for being somebody who would dedicate the rest of his life to talking about Descendants and Zombies. But 10 years after the fact, and that idea was put in my head by a lot of people, here we are. And I've uploaded almost 1,300 videos about Descendants and Zombies over time because as you've often heard me talk about, time is the most precious commodity we have. And why is that, you may ask? Because we never seem to know how much time we have. And often the question pops in the back of our mind and always pops up in every conversation that we seem to have, what we do with more time if we had it. I think I would love to have the chance to go back in time and try to alter the fabric of time. I'd probably be scared to death to alter the fabric of time because I wouldn't know what to expect. But I think the challenges and the consequences you would face along the way would definitely give you a better understanding and appreciation of anything for what lied ahead. And I think that what makes people uncertain about the future is that we never seem to know what the future has in store. It's kind of like going to see a movie, like when I went to see Toy Story 5 just yesterday. The previews are the most exciting thing about the show because you never seem to know what's coming next. I mean, we never thought that the Cat in the Hat would be reanimated on November 4th, but he's coming. And we never ever thought that Spider-Man would have a brand new movie called Brand New Day, but it's coming in July. The previews are the most exciting thing because you never know what the future lies ahead or has in store for all of us. So I think the same logic applies to Descendants of Zombies. Have any of you gone to movies, by the way, and actually tried to eat the popcorn by putting a straw down into the popcorn bag and sucking the butter up through the straw and really filling the popcorn up with butter? Do that the next time you go to the movies, and trust me, it's the greatest experience you'll ever have in your life, and you'll have so much fun, and you'll thank me for that idea. Just take the straw, pour the butter down into the popcorn and let the butter fill up the popcorn bucket and you will have the time of your life. It's a tremendous experience. Kind of like when you see the Disney signature in all these movies, you will really feel fulfilled or begin to feel fulfilled for the first time ever in your life. And you'll come out of the movie theater saying, hey, Jonathan Clarke was right. The Disney signature makes me feel so alive. But the thing is, guys, what these movie previews represent sometimes are how the future never seems to know what it has in store. And I really don't think the future even knows what it has in store. So that's why it seems to be so unclear. And I think that a lot of us were left with a lot of doubt because of the rise of Red. I know within the first few hours of the rise of Red's premiere, everybody took to social media and their opinions were very different. And opinions were going all over the place. People had been obviously made to feel very different about the rise of Red. But as time passed and we watched it again, and we watched it again, and we watched it again, and we ran it back, we always took something special away from the characters and the people who brought those characters to life and how they told these stories. I've been very appreciative of how people could tell stories for a very long time. Do you know that Superman over 50 years ago was created by a guy from Canada who just had a dream of how a man wearing a cape could fly and have a chance of saving the world, save civilization? So he presented his idea to his best friend Lois, who he named, of course, Lois Lane after, before he got on a train. And it was a picture of Superman that he had drawn. And she believed that nobody was ever going to buy a comic book about a man in tights who had superpowers who was going to save the galaxy. But it went on to become one of the most successful superhero franchises of all time. It sold more comic books than ever before. I think it outsold Batman, and even with how cool I think Batman is. But it just goes to show how simple of an idea can become something so much more phenomenal. I will never, ever forget how I heard the story of how Superman was first created. And it brings us to moments like this. Now, this coming Friday, the first ever Supergirl live action movie will be released. I don't know how I really feel about that because the best Supergirl was done by Melissa Benoit for the Supergirl TV show. I watched every episode of that, all 6 seasons of it. And I thought her portrayal of the Supergirl character was beautifully done. So I really don't know how this new Supergirl is going to fare as the new Supergirl, but we're going to see how that goes. And I know how Meg Donnelly was made to feel about that because she really had her heart set on becoming Supergirl. And I've always wanted Meg Donnelly to know that her contributions to this industry will never, ever be forgotten. And she shouldn't really be feeling let down over the fact that she was denied the role of Supergirl. I think it came down to her and this girl, of course, Millie Alcott. I couldn't remember the name there for a moment, but Millie Alcott is playing Supergirl for the first time ever. So because Millie Alcott is playing Supergirl for what will be the first time ever, this is obviously going to be very different. And, I know that Supergirl in the Supergirl franchise is obviously looked at very differently from what the Supergirl character once was because she seemed to be so strong in the original TV show. She's very exuberant in this one too, but also very unpredictable. So we're just going to have to give it time and give it more of a chance. But I know that Meg Donnelly had her heart set on being Supergirl, and my heart was always with her because I knew how much that role had meant to her because it came down to her and Millie Alcott before Millie Alcott was chosen by the producers because they realized she had it. But the thing is, there were more opportunities on the horizon for Meg Donnelly. She had a chance to perform on Broadway. And I know in a lot of her interviews, she was saying that she had never felt stronger because of the chance she was presented for performing on Broadway. And that's so cool. When we can see our favorite Descendants and Zombie stars having more of a chance being given to them than ever before and being shown to them with so much mutual respect coming from within this niche. People are going to see Tangled more than ever before because they remember Milo Manheim as Zed. Of course, Zed Grotopoulos and Zombies and how much of his character would go on to mean to this franchise. Both characters, Zed and Addison, will go on to mean a considerable amount to all of our hearts because many of us saw our own relationships or our own friendships in the friendship and relationship that was first distributed back in 2018 for Zed and Addison. I've really loved how these characters have come together and they've really created something so special for each other in so many phenomenal ways. And I've really loved just being here to be a part of this and to have the chance to experience all of this with all of you because you guys are what welcomes people into this niche. You may never realize this, but you guys are always have been what have welcomed people into this niche because you guys could have turned away from me from the very first moment you ever heard my voice or ever saw a video from me, but you didn't because you listened to what I had to say about Descendants of Zombies. Years ago when Twilight was popular, people loved Twilight by the millions. There were something like 1 billion fans of Twilight. And that's why Twilight, when it came to vampires and werewolf sagas, became the most popular saga that had ever been created, one of the top-selling book series in the world. I will never forget holding the first ever copy of Twilight Breaking Down in my hand. I think it was part one, and the book was that thick. It had like 1,000 pages, so it was this thick. And I remember how detailed the book was. I didn't read the entire book, but I read enough of it to understand just how detailed the script was and how eventually detailed the script would be for the movie. Point being, everybody was so crazy about Twilight, but did you ever hear people continue to talk about how popular Twilight was through the years? Maybe in the first 3 years of the final production, they talked about it, but after 3 years passed, they kind of forgot about it. The same thing is going to happen for Wicked. The same thing is going to happen for Moana. The same thing is going to happen for this or that, but nothing will ever happen for Descendants of Zombies that should never happen, like how people will just tend to forget about it because The thing that's always proudly represented Descendants of Zombies is its longevity and how much it's meant to so many wonderful people. The thing that's always been consistent from within this niche is the undeniable love and support that only I could have ever had the chance to experience and truly understand. Because you see, ever before somebody pushes record about Descendants and Zombies, they not only just have to sit here and talk about Descendants and Zombies for what they believe it's worth, they have to speak from their heart and they have to really understand, but not just understand their audience, but they have to appreciate their audience. And until that level of understanding is obtained by whoever's talking about Descendants and Zombies and that mutual understanding comes to be between yourself and your audience, you can never really successfully record and produce a video about Descendants of Zombies until you fully understand what it means to be for that fan who loves Descendants of Zombies with all of her heart. Because you see, every time I've ever pushed record, I know there is one girl at least who watches these videos and one girl who loves Descendants of Zombies with all of your heart. You haven't got to tell me that because I know you're here because you love Descendants of Zombies. However you found my channel, maybe you were recommended my channel, maybe my thumbnail popped up in your YouTube recommendations. I really don't know. But however you found my channel, you're here because you love Descendants of Zombies. Maybe your favorite character was Red. Maybe your favorite character was Uma, which is very uncommon, but maybe your favorite character was Uma. So because your favorite character was Uma, I have to understand why your favorite character was Uma. I have to understand why your favorite character was who she was and why you took so much inspiration away from that character. But it's never really taken a degree in rocket science to figure out why people feel passionate about their favorite characters. It's because people believe in such things as these character stories and believe there is a chance, even the slightest, of these same things happening for them. So I say that if there is somebody out there believing in mermaids, if there is somebody out there who believes in true love and wants to believe in forever, I think we can find time in encouraging that because I've loved having these conversations. While I can't speak for everybody out there who may have ever tried to host a conversation about Descendants of Zombies and done it unsuccessfully, I was one of those guys who successfully did host a conversation about Descendants of Zombies and reach more people than ever before because you guys allowed me to be a part of this niche. And ever since being welcomed into this niche by thousands of people, I've had the chance to have my story seen and heard by more people than ever before. And I will never forget any of you. So simply put, I've always believed you guys have deserved the best. When 6.7 million of you tune in to watch the premiere of The Rise of Red, and over 7 million of you are going to be tuning in just under 2 weeks to catch the premiere of Wicked Wonderland, you want to know what's going to happen for Red and Chloe. You want to know what the challenges of sisterhood are going to look like. You want to know what challenges their friendship are going to face along the way. And what's going to happen for these characters. Is their story going to see more of an expansion? It's obviously been modernly updated. Wonderland looks more modernly updated than ever before, and I really appreciate the modern update that's happened for Descendants. And I will have more to say on this coming up tonight because we have so much to talk about, so much to get into because Descendants' premiere is in just under 2 weeks. And that is really, really cool. And that's something to really be excited about. And I have this to say to everybody who just wants to believe in something more happening for Descendants of Zombies. If you are, in fact, somebody who loves Descendants of Zombies with all of your heart at just 9, 10 a.m. in the morning, which I know is really, really early for somebody to be recording a Descendants of Zombies podcast. And I know there's somebody out there saying, hey, Jonathan Clarke, thank you so much, man, for uploading videos about Descendants of Zombies for what has become the rest of your life for all of us. If you are somebody who says that, thank you so much. But what I'm here to tell you guys is that there has never been anything wrong with being a fan of Descendants of Zombies because some of the most lovely stories and some of the most beautiful characters have been created because of all of you. People draw inspiration from you guys all the time. And while it's been said many times over the years that Disney really never accepts ideas from fans, they really do because they pay attention to what you love. They pay attention to what you appreciate and they do listen to you, but it takes them time to develop because of budgets and how they're faced with so many challenges along the way. They have to wait for a lot of things to be allocated. But what matters forever and always have been all of you because you guys have been right there in the midst of everything for Descendants of Zombies. And you have been forever supportive of your favorite characters for far long enough now to be shown that appreciation you've always deserved. And I am somebody who has always believed that you guys have deserved anything from worse than what you've been hearing. And I really do believe that you guys have really deserved the best. Thank you so much for all the love and support that you have shown this YouTube channel and hopefully will continue to show for many years to come because these characters have never felt stronger. They've never looked stronger than ever before and I've just loved being here to have the chance to experience this with all of you. I really have loved being here. I've loved sharing in your stories. I've loved sharing my story with all of you because ultimately that's what brought us that much closer together and truly made us feel a part of something that was so special to my heart. Having said that, tonight we will pick up this conversation and resume it from where we left it off, as we have so much to get into and so much to talk about, which is a conversation that I can only hope that you will want to be a part of and really sharing with me, because we have so much to talk about and so much to be excited about, because Descendants, of course, is premiering on July 16th on Disney Channel and the next day on Disney Plus. So we have so much to be excited about, and with good reason. So thank you so very much for always and forever having chosen this YouTube channel as your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel, and forever and always holding a special place for your favorite characters and all of these wonderful moments. From my heart to yours, thank you so very much for always and forever having chosen this YouTube channel as your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel. And thank you so very much for always believing in every video that may have ever been created here or may have ever been uploaded, because you guys have chosen this YouTube channel as your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel, and you've done that ever so emphatically. We have so much happening on June 24th in the history of Disney. In this day in Disney history, the premiere of The Lion King happened over 32 years ago. The first ever episode of Rapunzel's Tangled Adventure aired on Disney Channel, and we will talk more about that coming up tonight. So don't forget to hit my subscribe button and hit my like button along the way, because we have so much to talk about and so much to be excited about, more than we ever have before. With that having been said, thank you so very much for always believing in this YouTube channel and having chosen this YouTube channel as your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time that may have ever been created. And as always, from my heart to yours, thank you so very much for always and forever having watched these videos.